There's a new Star Wars rumor in town, and this one just might have more merit than the others, like 100 of them that have come your way. Today we're talking about Ryan Gosling perhaps starring in a Star Wars role. But what's going to happen? Will it come to pass? Is it the final film of the Kathleen Kennedy era? And do audiences truly want Obi-Ken Kenobi? Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to a dandy of a day right here on the Pro Channel, where we are underway explaining entertainment, keeping you ahead of the culture curve. It is a joy, it is a pleasure, it is something that Hollyweird cannot understand how we do, but we do it for you. 4 times a day, bringing you the latest in what's really going on in entertainment. We believe it matters, that's why we do it, and that's why we serve it up on a silver platter, steaming and hot. Folks, if you like this kind of content, consider going over to the Patreon. It's www.patreon.com/WDW Pro for even more content that will help you know what's happening inside the halls of Hollywood. All right, Ryan Gosling, Star Wars, we'll talk about it. A panel that you cannot miss, a video that will bring you a lift to your day, and we're underway right now. All right, I have the Hollywood Reporter. It's by Boris Kidd and Pamela McClintock. Star Wars shocker, Ryan Gosling in talks to star in Sean Levy's movie. If the deal makes, this would send the project into hyperdrive after 2 years of development and make it the next Star Wars movie to go into production. Nothing says there's nothing going on in Hollywood like the deal is not yet done for a movie that is not yet being made, but if it does, it would put this into hyperdrive after 2 years of supposed development that nobody can confirm. My, oh my, how desperate they have become. Ryan Gosling is headed to the great galaxy far, far away, it says. The 3-time Oscar nominee is in negotiations to topline the Star Wars feature project that will be directed by Deadpool and Wolverine filmmaker Sean Levy. Sure it will. Details on any Star Wars project are harder to acquire than plans for an orbital planet killer. That's because there's no planets out there, and this one is no exception. Levy has been developing his Star Wars features since 2022, and Jonathan Troper, don't know, who collaborated with Levy on films such as This Is Where I Leave You and The Adam Project, has been working on a script for over a year. Levy is also producing the feature via his 21 Laps banner, joining Star Wars stewards Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm. It is unclear when Levy's project is set. Star Wars stories have the run a gamut of hundreds of years, more like thousands. It is meant to be a standalone movie, sources tell the Hollywood Reporter. Lucasfilm had no comment on any impending deal or the project's details. Of course, they did not. And it goes on to just a lot of fluff here. So that's where we are with Lucasfilm. Lauren, I'll go to you first on it. Any interest at all in any of this? Or is this just more fluff to make it seem like Lucasfilm is out there doing something when in reality, it's just there. It just exists. It's just a studio that every so often, every couple of weeks, we hear, James Mangold is getting a movie. Patty Jenkins is back. We're really doing stuff. We're doing great things. You'll see.
I mean, what do you want me to say? It's just another project in development. Everything can be in development. Until somebody starts putting up sets and signing contracts, I don't care. I do like Ryan Gosling. I think, okay, fine. Put him in the next wing. Great. What's the story? Are you gonna put out something that entertains me? That's all I care about.
Lauren, the story is there is no story. The story is that they are reduced to this. They are reduced to putting out, hey, there might be a movie. We may have been working on it. There's a star that could be signed. He's not yet. We don't have details. Nobody's talking about anything. But if all of this comes to be, then here's something we can write an article about. That's the state of Star Wars. Derek, that's where we are. They have nothing.
I want you to go back, 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago, Star Wars Celebration 2023 out in London. And they trot Daisy Ridley out to the stage. Okay, they bring her out to the stage in her red dress, and she's smiling and waving to the crowd and saying, "Hey, everybody, I'm going to be in a Star Wars movie." And generally speaking, when they start announcing, who's going to be in a movie, you kind of figure that thing is going to happen, right? Like, okay, they said that, it's one thing to have directors out there saying they're working on the project, but now we have an actual actress standing right here, waving to everybody, saying, "I'm going to be in this next Rey movie." And now we have one movie, which is Mando and Grogu, that has completely leapfrogged her and moved right into the center stage. That one's coming out next year. That one's already done filming. And now we're hearing about this one with a major star attached. Ryan Gosling's not small potatoes. In my opinion, I think this actually probably is going to end up happening because it's Ryan got you don't this kind of information doesn't just escape into the ether unless there's some kind of validity to it, especially when the Hollywood Reporter is talking about this. When the Hollywood Reporter puts something out there, it's like, okay, this is probably legit. So I think this is actually going to happen. Obviously, we got Sean Levy, who just did Deadpool and Wolverine. That thing is a smash success. So his name is carrying a little bit of weight. And then you got Ryan Gosling. Obviously, this guy just what did he win like last year for Academy Awards for Barbie? He's carrying some weight. So you got two mega names, and I think they're going to try to push this again ahead of Daisy Ridley's Ray movie. Ray movie's in the back burner. It's sitting behind, on a shelf at this point. That's the real disaster of this entire thing, is that you trotted poor Daisy Ridley out there on stage and had her wave and say hi and all of that. And now we have one and possibly two movies moving right past her. Probably James Mangold. We're going to start hearing stuff about his movie. But to your point, Pro, it is just Star Wars being Star Wars and Lucasfilm being Lucasfilm in this era, because they really need to shake it up.
Derek, no, you've convinced me to join your side. You can't come back and join me again now.
Well, what I'm saying what I'm saying, Pro, is this is what Disney does. This is what Lucasfilm, especially Lucasfilm, does. They want to get some positive press out there. They want to get something positive in the atmosphere for people to talk about, because we just came off of Skeleton Crew, which bombed completely in the ratings. So the last thing we've gotten from Star Wars, from this franchise, is a disaster. So they got to put something out there that makes it sound good. I think this is actually going to happen. I just don't know if it's going to start shooting this year or maybe next year, but I do think Sean Levy, he has been working on this movie. We've heard about it for the last couple of years. And if he has Ryan Gosling attached and they putting this in a Hollywood Reporter, listen, if they don't do it, it's going to be yet another big disaster for Lucasfilm. But I think this one might actually have a little bit more of an opportunity than that Ray movie. I think the Ray movie is completely backburnered and done. And that's really sad.
If they were saying they had a signed contract, I would agree with you, but they're not saying that. I think this is polling by leak. And until they address the leadership situation at both Lucasfilm and Disney, I don't believe a thing that they're saying.
Until Kathleen Kennedy is fired, none of this matters. I mean, it's probably not going to be a great movie, even if it does come out. But listen, I like Sean Levy's movies. He's a pretty good director, writer. I've enjoyed his films. I enjoyed Deadpool and Wolverine. It's just one project that I'm kind of hoping happens. Maybe that's just wish fulfillment for me, saying, oh yeah, I think this is going to happen. But I kind of want this to happen because I like Ryan Gosling. I'd be interested to see what character he's going to play in the Star Wars universe. But we've gotten so much bad Star Wars lately. It's just kind of nice to see, okay, we got an actually pretty good filmmaker, and we got a pretty good actor being discussed in the Star Wars franchise, probably for the first time in a long time.
And I just want people to understand what happened in this conversation. So I came out here with this predetermined idea of what I was going to say, and I said, this Lucasfilm again. They just can't do anything. And I had my cynicism hat on. Then Lauren got in here and he's like poo-pooing all over. What do you want me to say? That's what Lauren said. Lauren said, what do you want me to say? And darn it, Derek, the D.A. Anderson, folks, came in here and inspired me. I never knew that I needed Obi-Ken Kenobi until now. Obi-Ken Kenobi. Lauren, you need Obi-Ken. You need Obi-Ken now. You can't ever not have Obi-Ken.
Well, go scroll back up to that article if you can. Can we bring that back up?
Of course I can. Look at that handsome devil Jedi down there at the bottom left.
Well, that's the thing, is he's got the right look, actually. He's got a little bit of the Skywalker features. Now, I wouldn't want him in
No. He's no Skywalker. He's a scruffy nerf herder, and you know it.
I wouldn't want him in that kind of a role, but I could definitely see him as a pilot, or somebody in the smuggler scoundrel kind of role, especially if he played it humorous. If you do something, I wouldn't want to go full on comedy like the Fall Guy, but he's got the kind of chops where he can pull off that roguish charm if he wants to. And he's got a bit of an edge if you wanted to play something like Driver, remember? And so I think he's got enough range that he could do something with a good script. Do I think they have a good script? No, I do not. I don't think they have a finished script. I don't think they have a contract. I think they're feeling out, what does the audience say about this?
But also,
you.
I was before, just real quick, Vash. Remember where Ryan Gosling got a start? He has a very long relationship with Disney. He was on the Disney. He was part of the Disney Mickey Mouse Club. That is, I don't know how many people remember that, but yes, Ryan Gosling started with Disney, so this could be part of that with the relationship that he's got going into this. It would be a very interesting thing to see. And to the DA's point, honestly, if Star Wars decided to do something with Ryan Gosling, that actually piques my interest, because I have no desire to see any more Rey. I get enough of Rey in the parks, and it's annoying when you're at Galaxy's Edge, and I'm at Galaxy's Edge, and I'm seeing Rey and Chewbacca, and that makes no sense together in my brain. I'm like, how am I seeing Chewbacca without Han Solo, without Luke Skywalker? They don't even have C-3PO and R2-D2 walking around Galaxy's Edge. And you're like, those characters still exist. So it's like anything that can make the parks better, I'd be happy with.
I don't know if it's going to make the parks better. That's the big question. They do have the characters come out, but only for certain nights, like Star Wars nights, for example, at Disneyland. That's when they'll put out the characters, which is really, really interesting how they feel about those original trilogy characters versus their own sequel trilogy characters. But every single time we heard about a project, to DA's point, right? David Benioff, D.B. Weiss, Patty Jenkins, right? Taika Waititi, Ryan Johnson. We never really heard any actors associated with those films. That obviously changed with Daisy Ridley being attached to the Rey movie, but as a movie very much centered around that particular character. This is kind of the first time that they've actually done this, where they have talked about a major actor being a star in a role like this. We also heard too Natalie Portman being attached to Ahsoka, possibly. So it looks like they're taking a cue off of that. My thing though is about this whole thing, to Lauren's point, is maybe they're just doing this in order to set this project apart from so many projects that haven't happened in Lucasfilm's lineage right now. I mean, everybody knows that whenever you hear about a new Star Wars project, it's like, okay, yeah, but when is it going to happen? When is it going to come out? Tell me more than just development talks. So I think they're trying to set this apart, but I agree with Lauren. It's just, we need to see more before we get excited about anything Star Wars related. I do agree with you though, Ryan Gosling, far stronger to lead a film and to lead a project than Daisy Ridley.
Now, the one thing I would say about Ryan is I kind of think he tends to play things a little flat unless he's doing comedy, or where it's a role where it's a darker side, where the flat part is part of the actual character's personality.
Right.
And so that's kind of why I'm thinking that you have to put him in something that's either got a little bit of Han Solo swagger, where he can play like the Fall Guy kind of a thing, where there's some comedy, or he's got to play a darker character that comes across as cold and emotionless. I don't know that you put him in the lead role as a hero. I'm not sure if an audience is going to empathize with him there. I'm not sure. I'm curious what you guys think.
Revan.
I think like he's played a lot of different roles, but to your point, yeah, he's stronger when it's more of a character, not something that he's playing, like a comedic character, somebody that's interesting, has a dark side or dark past, like Drive, obviously. I just think that if they have him in mind, they've pretty much identified what this role is, and that fits perfectly, honestly, within the Star Wars universe. A smuggler, like, how many straight-laced characters can you think of that would be in the Star Wars universe anyway? Yeah, maybe a Jedi, like a stoic type of Jedi, like a Mace Windu or something. Everybody else has something about them, some colorful uniqueness to that character. So I think that if Ryan Gosling is coming in and he's going to play a character, it's going to be something that's, to his strengths, which is more comedic, maybe a little lighthearted. And honestly, I don't want to see him in a serious role or any kind of serious role for that matter when it comes to Star Wars. I'd rather have him be a smuggler, a bounty hunter, somebody that has, something in his, past, a dark past that he's working out. And, he's a fast talker. He's smooth. He's quick on his feet. I would love to see him playing that kind of a role, because you're right, Lauren. He actually does really good with those roles. Fall Guy, I love the Fall Guy. I liked his Colt Seavers. I thought he did a really good job with that. So yeah, I think if you're casting Ryan Gosling, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for that type of a character, and he fits the bill totally.
You
I
guys
think it could be.
You guys are so fake. You guys are such posers. You naming all these Ryan Gosling movies like you watched them. We all know. The audience knows. You've all watched The Notebook 15 times, cried 12 of the times, and that's what you know him from. Give me a break. Your girlfriends and your wives made you watch The Notebook, and that's how you know Ryan Gosling. We know the feeling. Ash.
I was going to say, Changer of Ways. Yeah, Blade Runner 2049. I thought he did really, really good in that movie, especially being a character, like it is described in the script, but also to a character that the audience can see themselves in and really empathize with. I think on the flip side of a comedy type character, I think a stoic character like that would play really, really well. The question though is that, with Star Wars being where it's at and maybe taking itself too seriously, I think it does need to get a little bit more flavor and a little bit more comedy in there. So that would be my recommendation.
I mean, what is Sean Levy? He's done comedies. That's like his claim to fame.
Fair point.
That's kind of where he's, Night at the Museum, obviously, and then Deadpool and Wolverine, Free Guy. Like that's his wheelhouse. So I think he's gonna lean into that. And again, Ryan Gosling, I think slides right on into a Sean Levy type film. I think it'll work if they're doing it, which is, again, with this Lucasfilm, you always got to take every bit of news with a grain of salt, because probably all likelihood it's not happening. But if it does happen, I could see this project actually probably working for a lot of people.
The other thing about Levy and comedy and all of that stuff that you're talking about is that just knowing Ryan Gosling isn't enough. You need to know who are the other players and what kind of chemistry do they have with each other, because a movie will live and die based on whether or not you buy their relationships and whether you like them.
Yep.
Huh.
Yep.
100%.
I'm taking notes for that. Next time they do a sequel trilogy, relationships matter. All right. Remembering that one. The Hollyweirds don't understand how it is we do what we do, bringing you video after video every single day of the utmost highest excellence and quality. But folks, we do it because of you. We appreciate you. You are seen and heard here on the Pro Channel. Make your voices heard, folks, by doing one last thing before we say goodbye for a short time. Consider clicking the like button. Share, subscribe, and you know what? That notification bell, click it and stick it to the algorithms. Also, drop a comment down below and let us know your thoughts. And don't forget, folks, we've got even more content on the way. If you'd like to become a member, it's just the price of a soda per month, and you'll gain access to all kinds of exclusive content beyond what the public sees, including archival footage of the Pro Show that goes away after just a few days from its public release. Folks, we hope we get the honor of spending time with you again soon, and until then, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.